Over the next few minutes, we are going to solve a lot of the problems that homeowners face who want to take care of their own lawn. The number one problem is you do not have access to quality seed. I am going to show you where golf courses, sod farms, and other turf professionals get their seed in the top quality varieties of grass, so you're planting the best possible seed you can. Secondly, I'm going to show you herbicides that you can put out at seeding. Easy to apply. I'm actually going to show you how to apply it. That not only will control the weeds, but it will also prevent weeds as your grass comes in. Thirdly, I'm going to show you how to pre-germinate seed, how to soak it and get it started to where it germinates even faster than what it normally would, particularly for those of you who want to go out maybe a little earlier or where the conditions are not quite ideal. I'm going to show you how to get a jump on Mother Nature. So let's get First, where to get seed. I can tell you Lowe's, Home Depot, gosh forbid, Walmart, they are not a good place to get seed. I have this winter gone through all of Amazon, and I have an Amazon storefront. If you go to the seed selection section, you will see seed from companies like Let's Go, Tri-City Seed. Those are companies that supply golf courses. And yes, they have like 10-pound, 5-pound, 25-pound bags of seed that is a reasonable size for you, and they will ship it to you. This is where golf courses get their seed. It is the most important decision that you can make, because what you do when you put poor quality seed out, you're limiting yourself genetically. Okay? What happens is it's only going to get so good, it's only going to get so green, it's only going to get so thick, it's only going to be so disease resistant. Believe it or not, it does make a huge difference. I had a video on seed selection. If you guys want to check that out, I go into depth on that. But to get a good quality bluegrass, ryegrass, tall fescue, I also have Bermuda grass on there as well. For those of you that are going out with Bermuda grass, this video will help. However, you cannot seed warm season grasses until after the last frost dates. Okay, as far as herbicide application for spring seeding, I did a video on these orthodolin sprays of how to properly calibrate these. Also a review, I bought like 5 or 6 of these and reviewed all of them and found this orthodolin spray to be very accurate.
Dead on, balls, accurate.
I actually have this and these other herbicides on my Amazon storefront. First one is Speed Zone, EW. It is a broadleaf weed control product. Pretty much takes care of any broadleaf weed you would have in your yard. Also does goosegrass in the summer. It's one of the few herbicides that do get goosegrass in the summer. That's not the big thing right now. We're talking spring seeding. You can put this out, control your broadleaf weeds, and you can seed 7 days after you've applied it. Majority of broadleaf herbicides, you have to wait anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks after you've applied it. This one, you can jump right on it 7 days after you applied it. Go in there, whack your broadleaf weeds, and then seed right into it. Now, if you were going to put this out, this goes out at 1.8 ounces per thousand. That's a max rate. There again, I talked to their technical people this winter. Just set your setting on 1.5 ounce. It says 1.8 is the rate on here. That's a max rate. But at 1.5 ounces per 1,000 square feet of this concentrate is going to do fine for you. See my calibration video on how to make sure you're getting this out right. Of course, you can always use a backpack sprayer, but there again, like I said, the advantage of using one of these, this goes up to 32 ounces. As long as you have hose, you don't have to go back and mix up a spray tank and go through all the rigmarole, what to use or how to use it or how to mix it or anything else. Put it in the tank, be sure you get the setting right, and you're walking the correct amount of time. Go over that in the video. You're overlapping correctly. Go over that in the video. Scott's Turf Builder built for seeding. This is the first of 4 mesotrione products I'm going to show you. For those of you who do not want to deal with spraying anything else and just simply want to put herbicide out, this also has starter fertilizer in it. It's actually a 21-22-4 fertilizer, so it has a high amount of phosphorus in it. So not only is it going to take care of your weeds, it's going to give you 30 days of pre-emergent control.
Clean up in aisle 3.
It's also going to give you a good starter fertilizer in there too. So that's actually a pretty good product. It's on my storefront. Now, this is Sublime. It is a mesotrione product. It also has dicamba and triclopyr in it. Dicamba and triclopyr are going to do pretty much all your broadleaf weeds as well. The advantage to this is a mesotrione. Not only does it control grassy weeds and suppresses poania, okay, it also gives you 30 days of pre-merger control, and you can seed same day. It will not affect your seeding with blue, rye, or fescue. Other mesotrione products, Torcity and Tenacity. Torcity is generic Tenacity. They go out at 0.14 ounces per 1,000 square feet. So you might use maybe an ounce on a yard. These will require non-ionic surfactant. However, they will do very good on broadleaf weeds without the surfactant in it. Surfactants, they are important and you will get better control, but usually it's not that much. You're seeing more control in greenhouse environments than they are in the field environments.
You see this as an opportunity to get rid of all the weeds in your yard, to germinate in the fall, in the winter. You're going to go out, you're going to hit it with some herbicide, you're going to get all the weeds out of it, and then you're going to seed right into it. And now you've got this nice spring you've got coming in, and you know the temperatures are going to get better. Biological activity doubles every 10 degrees, so it does make a significant difference when we're talking about temperature. A little bit about germination. The reason why I use ryegrass. Ryegrass germinates in anywhere from 3 to 5 days, and that's generally in that 65 to 75 degree temperatures, about around in there. That's the happy spot. Tall fescue anywhere from 7 to 10. Bluegrass. You guys want to see bluegrass, it takes 21 days.
Seed priming, and then there's seed pre-germination. We're going to go over seed pre-germination. I'm going to leave an article down below from the University of Madison, Wisconsin, which is what these techniques are based on. Those you've seen my channel before, my channel is science-based. I generally put the works cited down below, so to speak, from all the university research. Few things about pre-germination or priming. We're going to do the pre-germination technique because the priming, I think, is just too much for a homeowner to do. Just put it out dry by itself, and you put another one side by side. The pre-germinated or the seed prime area will come up first. What they have found in the article down below, all things being equal, about 10 to 14 days later, there's not much difference in the turf stand between those two. Where this helps, two applications in my opinion. One, when you're dealing with a sloped area that could wash and you need that seed to germinate quickly and establish and hold that soil into place. The second is what we're talking about in this video, is cold temperatures. What you are essentially doing by using pre-germination or priming is when you're putting out in cold temperatures, like we talked about with, if you're looking at seeding, down that 60-degree level, you are essentially putting the seed in an environment that is actually warmer. So be aware, if you're going out, particularly if you're going out in spring, you take this water out of the tap, you need to get the water to at least 65 degrees. Ideally around that 70, 75 degree mark. Don't leave it in the garage overnight when it's going to get into the 30s, because that's going to lower the temperature. You want to keep the temperature of that water above 70 if you can. Obviously, you do not want to go above 85. That or you're going to be cooking it. Unless you want to eat it, keep it below 85 degrees. And so what you're doing is you are actually waking up the grass, and then when you put it out, it's already got a pretty good start. First of all, what we need water, obviously. I've got a fish bubbler. What that does, it does add oxygen to the water that can help. It does oxygenate the water fairly well. You can use cheesecloth, anything that will allow water to penetrate but keep the seed in. And then you want to put that in there, get it moist, make sure it's completely submerged. Then you're going to come back at least once a day, every 12 hours, and stir this. Here's the most important thing. You've got to change this water at least every 24 hours. If you want to change, you're already there, you could probably just go ahead and take your seed out and replace it every 12 hours. What happens is you have germination inhibitors that are actually secreted by the seed. And if you leave that in there, okay, those germination inhibitors are going to work on that seed and it's not going to germinate. So and not only are you not going to get any germination, you're also going to lose your seed. How many days are you going to do that? On ryegrass, for about 2 to 3 days. Tall fescue, probably 2 to 3. Bluegrass, you're going to have to do this for at least 4 days. Take it out. Here's what the problem is, and here's why I don't generally recommend this all the time. What is the pain in the butt? Is this seed now is soaking wet. And particularly with ryegrass, and they talk about this in the article about pre-germination, this seed is soaked. It is a hot mess to put out. You obviously don't want to dry it completely, but it needs to be reasonably dry. Milorganite actually has on their webpage to put it out and mix it with Milorganite. I have tried that. I don't recommend it. The reason being is Milorganite's a great product. The problem with Milorganite is it's got a little bit of moisture in it, and that's not going to do you any good putting this out. You need to mix what I would do and get some sand, dry sand. I'm talking bone dry sand, and then blend this together. The water in this seed will mix with that dry sand, and that way you are able probably to get it out. If you want to hand sow it, there is a possibility you could dry it up enough with that dry sand to actually put it out with a spreader. I have found in doing this technique, and this is the biggest pain in the butt with it, is getting it out after you've soaked it. You don't want to overseed. I'm going to give you, you don't want to put too much down. The grass is going to be immature and weak, particularly if you're going out late into the fall. You're going to weaken it because it's going to be competing with the other grass in the area. You don't want to over apply seed. Of course, my luck, I put my seed out, then it got cold. But anyway, look, as far as putting out pre-emergent herbicide on seed that you put out in the spring, it's going to be sketchy that you can put a pre-emergent herbicide out really anytime. Even if you seeded it in early April, this is April 8th. I put some tall fescue on some spots that didn't come in that great on when I overseeded last year. Actually, this is the yard I completely renovated last year. This is what it was, and this is where it is now. Pretty happy with it. Got a couple dog pee spots I got to figure out what to do with. But anyway, putting out pre-emergent herbicide in the spring on grass that you've seeded in the spring, you could potentially push the envelope, if you will, particularly on ryegrass and tall fescue, because bluegrass is going to take too long, and I don't think you're going to be able to get it out before into June at the earliest. Generally, they want 60 days after germination on most of the labels, I think, for diamine, diclopyr. Pretty much that's what they say. I believe I have put pre-emergent out on new seed 30 days after germination, a couple mowings, and I haven't seen too much damage from it. You could try maybe a spot and go that route if you want to. I just don't want to advise you to do something that might kill what you put out. So anyway, I'm just giving you, might want to wait 60 days, at least 2 months after germination. That's going to put you in mid-July, and you're going to potentially have a boatload of crabgrass by then. That being said, you could, for those of you who are kind of just starting out, go out with this Spectracide weed stop. It's also got the nuts edge control in it. You guys with a hose and adapter, maybe the backpack sprayer, just newbies. That's a pretty good one you could put out. However, if you put that out in July, it's not going to do any good. It's got quinaclorac in it. Quinaclorac doesn't have any activity on crabgrass after June 31st and after June 31st, and you have to wait till after August 15th for it to do any good. It will not control middle-aged crabgrass. See it every year. Somebody goes out, puts it out in July, says it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then somebody else puts it out puts it out in early June on crabgrass. Then someone else puts it out in middle July and says it's the worst thing ever on the market. Quinaclorac does not have activity on middle-aged crabgrass. So what is a person to do? You can, here's what I would do. Just do it from a management standpoint. The taller you mow your grass, the less crabgrass and weed pressure you're going to have during the summer. If you can tolerate it at 3.5 to 4 inches, even 4.25, you're going to be a lot better off. You have a heck of a lot less weed pressure. So what that does, like underneath this shade tree, this is a maple tree. I don't need any pre-emergent underneath it for summer, because crabgrass, goosegrass, and this is a problem with guys going out and scalping the hell out of Bermuda grass or any other grass for that matter. You're just allowing your weed pressure. It goes up exponentially. I reduced my Bermuda grass height of cut by, I think, a ½ inch last year. I had more weeds last year than I had the last 6. It just, the closer you mow your grass, the more weed pressure you're going to have. If you do not believe me, then go to a park sometime in the middle of July and look where the shade ends and the crabgrass begins, and you will see there's very low crabgrass underneath the shade tree. It needs sun to germinate. So if you mow your grass taller, you will have less crabgrass, goosegrass, and weed pressure overall in your yard, Then when your yard is mature and your grass is mature enough, there after August 15th, you can go out with that Spectracide weed stop. You can put out, there's all kinds of herbicides on the market. I have a bunch of weed control videos. You can check that out. The Spectracide is the easiest. So, and then that gives you mid-August, that takes you into mid-September. Generally got to wait 30 days after the majority of post-emergent herbicides. Then if you've got some bad spots, go out, seed them in mid-September, and you should be good to go. But you could try to put out pre-emergent 30 days to 34 weeks to 6 weeks after germination, but it's going to be a little sketchy. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, you've got options of how to get rid of all the weeds. You've even got a couple options on how to get rid of all your weeds and have a pre-emergent herbicide to keep any weeds germinating while your new grass gets going. And you've got a way to pre-germinate seed to go out and maybe get a little bit of jump, particularly those of you that want to go out early in the year, or if you guys want to get quick cover, or something else to consider. When you guys are seeding, you're going to have to mow that grass at least 3 to 4 times. You're going to have to wait probably 4 to 6 weeks before you can put out your pre-emergent for summer weed control in the spring. So you're looking, that's a mid to late May application, maybe June for some of you guys. And that the Sublime, Tenacity, Torcity, and that also the Scots for seed. You can conceivably put that out. If you've got a little bit of crabgrass coming up, if you have to wait to put that pre-emergent out, you can hit it with one of those, providing there again, your newly germinated seed has, after it is germinated, wait about 4 weeks afterwards. That's the tricky part of seeding in the spring. Fall, it's not that big a deal. You're not bumped up against your pre-emergent herbicide trying to get it out for spring. So anyway, I'm agronomist Greg Phillips. This has been helpful. Like, subscribe. I've got videos that interconnect, as you can see how this video worked out, trying to keep things a little bit more concise this year. And you can tell my editing software, my videos are much smaller than what they used to be. So anyway, hope this helps. Good luck.